Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. So, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you guys for coming in. Um, I, as I mentioned last week, I started, or at least I got the idea to do these chats because I was looking at the analytics of the channel, and it seems that a lot more people on Wednesday nights, it seems a lot more people are watching a lot of the infidelity related videos that are on the channel. So that's why I wanted to start doing these chats. I see we have a couple people here. Hi everyone. If you I would love it if you guys would say hey. But so that was the intent. That's how I got the idea. That's why I wanted to start doing these. So if you are here and have questions, it looks like I have two quiet people. Hi, two quiet people. Oh, three quiet people. So again, these are intended to be more of a Q&A chat type thing, asking questions, but because PJ, hi. Thank you for saying hi. Hi, PJ. Um, yeah, so as I was saying, it's just me wanting to share information, wanting to engage a little bit more. I again, since this seems to be what on Wednesday night more people are watching, I wanted to see if you guys want to talk about it. But just because I also noticed that people watch quietly, I also, if I could find this on my phone, I also decided to look up a couple things, and um, from the comments that people have shared or questions that people have asked, I did put together a couple questions that I would answer until, or if no one else had questions or wanted to ask questions. One of the first ones I picked was someone who asked or who shared on something before that he'd had an affair and the affair ended, and he was trying, and what do you call it? But he was embarrassed to tell his wife about the situation. And the thing is, when you're, oh, and then the other part was he wanted to tell his wife because he felt super guilty about it. Here's the thing. The question I always want to ask people whenever they tell me that they want to talk to or they want to share with a spouse that about something, a situation that has ended, my question is always, hey, what is your purpose? What is the benefit to that person in you sharing? If you had an affair 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, however long ago it was, and everything ended and you're no longer dealing with that person, the question to really ask is, what benefit does your spouse get in you sharing that information? Or are you trying to share that information to alleviate yourself from the guilt? Yes, that guilt can be really tough. And that's why a lot of people after the fact want to share, want to disclose, want to let someone know, hey, yeah, this thing happened. You didn't know about it, but now I'm telling you because I feel awful keeping it from you. It's one thing when one reason people use all the time is, yeah, I don't want there to be any secrets. Yes, that is true. I'm a big proponent of no secrets in marriage. That is true. There should not be secrets in marriage. But you were okay keeping that one secret while the affair was going on. But now that things are done, you want to put it on your spouse. I would never be one to say, hey, I want you to go lie to your spouse. No, I would never encourage people to lie to their spouses. But I would strongly encourage and urge someone to really look at why, look at your purpose, look at the reason that you want to share such information with somebody. Because sharing that information is not going, it's not just, you're not just going to say, hey, I'm sharing this, and you're happy, we're happy, and we're all going to laugh and smile about it. When you share that information, there's hurt, there's there's pain that's going to be felt by the other person. There's an issue with trust. There's a lot of things that there are a lot of things that will happen that your partner will experience when you share that, or when you disclose that you had an affair. So, but as you make that decision, as you make that determination of, yeah, I want to share this with my spouse, I want to disclose, I want to, I want to be honest, I don't want there to be any secrets between us. You should really think of or consider what your purpose is, and determine if whatever it is that you're intending to get out of sharing this information is worth the what do you call it, the damage or the pain that is going to be caused in the relationship, as well as to your partner. But the other thing I also always caution people about too is that sometimes there is that person that no matter what happens, they still want to know. Even if it was 10 years ago, 30 years ago, they want to know. But you also have that person where, it already happened, it's over, let's move forward, and they don't want to know. So you also have to make sure that you know who your spouse is, who your partner is. Because if your partner is that person who no matter what wants to know, then yeah, definitely you may need to tell them. But if your partner is that person that does not want to know, telling them could just be adding or hurting them, or causing damage, or causing unnecessary damage. Unnecessary damage. Yeah, I don't need to quantify or qualify unnecessary damage. So that's usually how I answer that question. But again, every situation is different. It's at the end of the day, it's gonna really depend on you and your partner. Are you still with us, PJ? Or other? Hey, we've had a couple other people join us. So hi, new people. Again, as I mentioned, I would love for this to be more of a Q&A instead of just me talking and sharing it. Hey, PJ, do you have questions? Yay! Thank you for still being here. Yeah, because I would love for this to be more discussion than me just answering questions that I've kind of already answered. Because usually when they post stuff, whenever people post questions in the comments, I usually answer those anyway. So these are technically questions I've already answered that I'm just answering again, I guess, in person now. Okay, another one I had was, this person said, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years and things still feel a bit out of sorts with my wife. I wonder if she's ever going to trust me again. I keep telling her I'm not doing anything, but she's not believing me. I wonder why. Here's the thing that people don't want to remember. Whenever after infidelity or before infidelity, someone trusted you, your partner trusted you, they believed you. When you said you were at work before, they believed you. And then you went and were not at work and you were doing whatever you were doing. Well, my hubby has slept around and just lies to so much. He hasn't apologized, has no remorse. I just don't know how to take him. Well, that's common. Now the question I always ask people when this is their situation, what do you want to do? Because if it's happened and the person was not remorseful, there's a pretty good chance that if they're not remorseful, if they're okay, if they didn't feel, especially if they didn't feel that they did anything wrong, or if they felt that it was something that you did that led to them doing whatever they did, there's a pretty good chance. Hey, Val, there's a pretty good chance that they're going to do it again. That's what you have to keep in mind. And the decision you now have to make is, are you willing to live with this for however long that's going to be? Because if the person was okay with it before, if the person didn't think there was anything wrong with it when they did it the first time, if they don't feel any remorse and they feel no desire to, and they have nothing, and they feel no desire to, if they didn't feel anything was wrong with it, then they probably will not feel anything is wrong with it when they do it again. So the question you have to ask yourself is, how long or how much are you willing to put up with? Are you willing to deal with someone who does this whenever someone new pops up? Or are you willing to hold on until maybe he's 60 or 70 and decides, you know what, I'm over this? At the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. People often say, hey, we have children, we have history, we have this, we have that. But how good are you to your children? How good are you to you when someone is emotionally draining you and someone is putting you through the ringer like that? We should say, Valley says, ces garçons men are taught it's okay. No, I wouldn't agree with that. Some men grew up thinking it was okay. But I think what do you call it? I think a lot of people are learning that it's not okay, because if you don't want to be treated that way, it's not okay to treat other people that way. And the other thing is, I know we often hear of men cheating, but let me speak for the fellas. Women do it too. Women do cheat. Women do step out of their relationship, but the fact remains that it's all in how that person feels about that relationship. RJ said, or not RJ, PJ says, yes, I know he has done it before. No, I'm over this. I deserve better. He doesn't care. I'm guessing you meant he only cares about himself. Hey, if you've come to that realization, good, because that's what it is. If you I absolutely agree. You do deserve better. We all deserve to have that loving relationship, to be with someone who cares about us, who respects us and cares about our relationship. So if the person just keeps going in and out of different affairs and different situations, and he does not care how it impacts you, yeah, it may be time for you to start caring how things are impacting you. It may be time for you to start making that decision of if you're over it. PJ says it's just nasty. I agree. Being out there like that. And one thing I always tell people is that infidelity is not just an emotional thing. There's also a physical, what do you call it? With infidelity, there's also physical risk that you're putting your family and your partner in. Because, I mean, if you've heard the news, or if you've had a television or had a computer in the last 10 years, how many times, even no matter how much you avoid the news, have you heard of, hey, this happened because such and so was having an affair with that person? So whenever you start engaging in those extramarital situations, yes, whenever you start engaging in any type of external situations, you're putting yourself and your family at risk. And that is something that I always tell people to consider. Let me see. PJ says, I mean, during a pandemic and other disease, just nastiness. Pandemic or not, being out there like that is kind of, ugh. Well, yeah, but yes, right now in the middle of a pandemic, it's even worse, because now you're exposing yourself and your family to even greater risk, because there's so much stuff that could happen there. You go out there, and people. Here's the thing: people always have this idea that the person they're cheating with is only cheating with them because they're so awesome. That's not how it is. That is not how it is. If they're willing to cheat with you, if they're willing to do what they're doing with you, there's a possibility that you're not the only person that they're doing it with. So that means that that means that as while you're being with them, exposing your family and yourself to whatever they're bringing, they're also exposing you to whatever you are. How? What? You are a mean. Oh, a mean. Valerie says you're a meantime. I guess for you're here for the somebody that's here for the moment. That's what it is. It's not. There's no loyalty in infidelity. Let me just put it that way. There's no such thing as loyalty in infidelity. So if the person is willing to step out on their relationship with you, they will definitely step out of your affair, I guess, with anybody else. So it's one of those situations where people really have to be super careful with who they engage with and what kind of situations they expose themselves with too. So yeah, let's see what other questions. They owe you nothing until they can find someone else that will provide them all the things they need, pretty much. And even then, when they find that someone who's willing to provide whatever it is that they need, they still owe you nothing. So that's what I always tell people. Whenever someone is stepping out of their relationship with you, they don't. I mean, think about it. This person is stepping out of their relationship with the person that they're committed to, the person that they supposedly love, or at least the person that they've told that they love. More often than not, during infidelity, one of the things they tell people often say is that, yeah, she said she didn't love him, or he said he wasn't with her, or he didn't love her. But if he didn't love her, or if she didn't love him, or for whatever if things were really that bad, the person would be gone. So yeah, it's not they don't love him. It's just that this is what they think you need to hear in order to be comfortable doing whatever they need you to do. So they're gonna tell you that. I find men who come from fathers like this find, of course, yeah, people. If that's how you grew up, if you grew up from a household or from a family where this was said, yeah, this is how it is, this is how we do, then of course you think it's normal. But it's at some point, what I always tell people is you have to determine what you want for yourself. You have to determine the life you want, the situation you want, um and the other thing is, what do you want for your kids? Like what kind of message or what kind of information do you want to give to your children about, hey, this is how we do things, or this is what we should be doing, this is how we should treat what do you call it, this is how we should treat other people, this is how I treat your mom or how I treat your dad. So we always have to remember that there is more than just one person. It's not just you and your partner in this relationship. It's you and your partner and all the little people that you are influencing. This means that your children, nieces and nephews, or anybody that's anyone who relies on you or who's counting on you. So it's important that we're what do you call it? It's important that we're mindful of those things too. Oh, okay. I just locked the phone when as I was. Somebody's calling me at this hour. I don't know who that is. Let's see, what else do I have? Okay, I wrote some stuff down, but now I have to find them, and let's see. Keeping the secret from okay, I talked about that. Oh, this one person shared that he married someone that I guess his family and friends warned him against doing. And now that my ex said, now that's different. Where the person tells you, yes, I'm a great liar. Hey, at least he's honest about that. At least he's honest about that. Now, the only thing is, I wish it would have been nice. I'm sure you wish too. It would have been nice if he'd said that at the beginning. Yeah, that's what would have been nice. If you said that at the beginning, we're like, yeah, you know what, hun, I'm a great liar. I will lie to you for however long I choose to, and you will not. At least then you could have made an informed decision. But telling you after the fact, it's good to know that it's good to know, but yeah, it's a little bit late. But hey, at least he admitted it and gave you time to make a decision and do something about it. So yeah. Um let me okay, so this person mentioned that his family and friends warned him against getting involved with this person, and he married her anyway, and now she cheated, and he's too embarrassed to say anything. Here's the thing, it's not PJ. I know I would have ran so fast. Yes. But hey, you know what? The thing is, if you're with someone who's still sometimes maybe he's not telling you he's a great liar now, but you've learned, you've discovered, you've observed how good he is at lying. So that might be enough reason to, make your own decision, make a decision that works for you. But here's the thing. Yes, people often feel a sense of, a little bit. Yeah, people do feel embarrassed. People feel a little bit uneasy when your spouse steps out of your relationship. But keep in mind that they cheated, they did something wrong, they broke the vows, they were wrong, you were not wrong. So you haven't done anything wrong, therefore you have nothing to feel bad about. But yes, because we are human, and no matter how many times people tell you, no, this is not about you, this is not a reflection on you, it still feel a part of the person still feels a little bit hurt. A part of the person still wonders, what about me made this happen? Why did this happen to me? That's one of the, I'm gonna come to that. Valerie said he thought I would never leave. He knows my parents and my Haitian woman, and many Haitian women stay, but this is not the pre. I agree that a lot of men, especially a lot of Caribbean men who grew up in this type of environment where this was taught to be normal, where yeah, Mr. So and so had his wife and he had this other lady, and then whenever things are happening, when they're like many people who grew up in environments where this was accepted do tend to, what do you call it, grow up to become the guy who thinks this is acceptable. And because yes, previous generations, our grandmothers, I mean seriously, how many of us, if you're from the Caribbean, you probably know a few people where there are three or four the person has maybe 5 or 8 children, and they are staggered in between. Like there's one that's 50, one that's 47, and one that's 30 something, and he goes back and forth in between. Like the children are of varying ages, where he had one with this mother and then another one with that mother and then went back to this mother, and then the whole time all the people know. And sometimes the worst part is they know that what the man is doing, oh, because back then it was really mostly men. They know what the man is doing. They may be upset with him, but they deal with him, and then they go and get on the woman. Unfortunately, the person outside of your relationship doesn't really owe you anything. So it's the person in your relationship, that's the person that you have some type of, I guess, I could say leeway. I wouldn't even say leeway, that you have some kind of bargaining chip with. Yeah, the person in your relationship is the only one that you have some level of bargaining with. Anyone else is just, you know, hey, he does what he wants to do. That's his thing. So she can, if if she's willing to do half, to take half of him, then that's her. And now you have to determine, is the other half good enough for me, or do I want a whole of my own? But at the end of the day, one reason that people talk about today's women, or especially women as they start getting older and deciding that, hey, I don't have to put up with this, is that more and more people are coming to that realization that, hey, I don't have to. There are things that happen that are not within my control, but there are things that I can control. And your happiness is one of those things. Your peace of mind is one of those things. So taking the time and just having that conversation with, and working on yourself, working on yourself so that you're strong enough to make a decision that works for you, to make the right decision for you. Because a lot of times what people do is they'll make a decision out of pain, or they'll make a decision out of obligation. Those don't usually work out the best for the person that's involved, because if you're making a decision out of pain, if you're making a decision, hey, you know what? I got a few people here. If you're watching, can I get a like? Uh yeah, because my thumbs up thing is still saying 0. I don't like 0. um Values, let me see. Some men or women that come from outside relationships find it normal to live apart and are selfish. Yay, thank you for the like. uh I, it's not I wouldn't say all of them though. Some, I guess I agree with you in that it's some, because a lot of times being from that outside relationship can give a person a sense of, hey, maybe this wasn't cool. Can make a person want a different something different for their own family, can make a person want something for a different family lifestyle, a different family style, a different type of engagement, a different, just can make a person want different for their own future, or for their own family, or for their own I don't know. So it is true that seeing it, growing up with it, does sometimes make it feel or seem like it's normal. And many people do grow up to do that. But for the most part, a lot of times when people grow up in that situation, they see the damage that it did. They see how it impacted them. They see how it impacted their a lot of times it's the mom, but sometimes it is also the dad. So seeing those things can sometimes make a person choose, hey, you know what? Maybe I should do something different, or not do that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, people who cheat never stay with the cheater. So why lose your family over it? Because nobody ever thinks about that part. People remember, the fact that someone is stepping out of their relationship means that they believe, or someone, for whatever reason, they believe that they are so special, that who they are so them, that it's okay, that they believe that there's something about them that is gonna keep the other person, is gonna makes the person wants them. But I mean, seriously, if the person wanted half of you, more often than not, they think that, hey, when I give them all of me, they're gonna be even better. But yeah, it doesn't work, because one thing I often tell people: when you start a relationship with infidelity, it doesn't matter how many times the person told you that, hey, yeah, I'm only doing this because things are not going well with my wife, or things are not going well with my husband, or I don't love my husband, I love you, or I've never done this before. This is the first time I've met someone who make me want to cheat. No matter how great the story was, at the end of the day, there's no such thing. If they were willing to step out of their original relationship with you, most likely they'll be willing to do it with someone else. Is it possible that someone will cheat once, and then they'll go and marry whomever they cheated with, and then realize, you know what, this works out, I'm gonna stop doing you know I'm gonna stop doing it? Yeah, it is definitely possible. But should you stake your future on it? I wouldn't. because if the person did it before, they'll probably do it again. And if the person knew you were married and they were willing to engage in an extramarital affair with you, the other thing to keep in mind is that is how they value marriage, how they respect marriage. Because if they did not value or respect your relationship, will they respect the relationship that they will have with you? Because yeah, that is a thing. If they don't respect marriage enough to engage in that kind of relationship with you, then they probably don't respect marriage enough to not engage in that kind of relationship with I don't know, anybody else. So mm, let's see. I Do I have anything else that I want to talk about? The other question this one I get asked a lot is, how do you know when or who to share it with? It is a very lonely space to be in. It is a difficult place to be in, because one thing that happens is, yes, there is that bit of embarrassment, because you're thinking, hey, how could my this happen in my relationship? But there is also the whole thing of not knowing how people feel, what people think, and sometimes you don't know who to tell. Sometimes the best person to tell is a therapist, and I'm not just saying this because to promote or encourage more people to come see me. This is not even a selfish therapist thing. This is just what do you call it? This is just a reality of it. As you're trying to sort out your feelings, as you're trying to figure out, hey, where do I stand? What do I feel? What do I believe about the situation? The best thing you can do is sometimes to not engage other people, because your friends want to be supportive, and they may want to have, they want to have your back. So they take your side, but them taking your side is not always good, because them taking your side sometimes mean that they start having beef with whomever the person is, or maybe they start pressuring you to make certain decisions, or they start they start trying to make the decision for you. That's one reason that I often tell people, you know what, sometimes it's good to just step back and figure out how you feel first. Figure out what you think, and then just figure out what is going on with you before you start engaging other people. Because once other people are involved, then the situation becomes completely different. Because people have opinions, people have thoughts, people have feelings. And yes, sometimes other people feel hurt by what happened in your relationship. Just the fact that it may be your relationship, but sometimes your friends may have certain thoughts, something your friends may feel certain way. So be careful who you involved, and take your time and really carefully think of who you want to involve, because this is not a delicate situation, especially if you think about, a lot of times what tends to happen is what do you call it? A lot of times what tends to happen is people do get back together. Sometimes you have let me see. I learned that the hard way. Getting people involved was the worst thing ever. It can be. It can be. A lot of times our families, our friends, they want to have our back. They want us to know that they got us. But other people having your back is not always what you think it is. Because people want to help us the way they want to help us. They don't want to help you the way you need to be helped. They don't want to help you the way you want to be helped. They want to help you in the way that they feel. So if they feel that you should leave your husband, take all his money, do XYZ, then that's exactly what they will push you to do. Regardless of what you want to do, it does not matter what you want to do. If I believe that you need to leave, then you decide you don't want to leave, then now I'm upset. So now you got somebody that's supposed to be trying to help you, and now that person is upset with you because, hey, you're not following my You're not doing what I'm telling you. You're not being the good what do you call it? The good helpy? Yeah. So be very careful getting anyone involved in your relationships. It is something that is between you and your spouse. And whether or not you will end up staying together, it's important that you're very, very selective who you bring in, because sometimes they can help the situations. If you bring in the right people, yes, they can help the situation. And maybe you guys will come up with a plan or work something out to the point where you stay together and you have a healthy relationship. But sometimes bringing the wrong people in, because we all got that one friend who's always ready to cut somebody. Don't bring her in. The guy who's gonna say "I told you so," don't bring him in. Be selective. Be very selective. Another question that I've been asked before is, can a relationship survive infidelity? Absolutely. Absolutely. It happens all the time. People do it. People do it all the time. However, there are a few things. You guys are quiet. You guys are having me do all. I'm feeling like this is a monologue. We have a few people. It looks like we have a few people here. So if you're here, please say hi, please like. And if you have questions, please ask a question, because this is feeling more like a lecture and a monologue. But in order for a relationship to last or to survive infidelity, the people, all of them, have to be invested. The people, as in the person who cheated as well as the person who was cheated on, have to be committed to making it work. They have to be committed to working on the relationship, because if you don't have that, it doesn't work. One person can't work on it. I think I mentioned that in the last time I did one of these couple weeks ago when I did the first chat. If it's just one person working on it, it's not going to work, because eventually the work that person is doing is not going to be enough, and then eventually they're going to get tired of doing all the work, so they're going to stop. But you have to be committed. And the other thing is, you have to be open to getting help. One thing I see people do a lot of times is that they get into this, okay, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to you tell me everything that happened, and then we're going to move forward. Hi, Gianna. Please, welcome. If you have a questions, please ask. Yeah, and I got a couple more likes. So thank you guys. Thanks everyone who's liked this. So please continue to like. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, I think there's a subscribe button there somewhere. So please subscribe. People often have this thing of, we're gonna just figure it out. It works. It can work. But one thing that seeking outside help does is allow you and help you to have those difficult conversations. One of the worst things that people do after infidelity is where they'll sit there and try to, let's talk about all the details and all the, don't put stuff in your head that you cannot remove. I have heard people say that they thought my relationship was perfect. In reality, I am a submissive, and with a narcissistic person, it is very emotionally hurtful. Agreed. Because when you're looking, people will take. If you're a giver, and you just people will take. So what we have to learn to do is create that balance. And there are some people who will know that this is the type of person my wife is, this is the type of person my husband is, and they will act in a way to protect. But yes, if your husband is a narcissistic is a narcissist, they will take advantage of that. And unfortunately, that means that you are in a situation where you have to be a lot more guarded in your relationship, which is unfair because your relationship at home, your marriage, this is the one place where you're supposed to just be able to let loose and leave and just, but hopefully, now that he's gone, you can find someone else who's gonna be the one who's going to care for that giver and for the giver in you, who's going to know that, hey, yes, this is who my wife is. So and they'll make sure they act in a way that protect. Many people get sick from the sadness of it all, especially when you forgive and go against your pride so many times and you realize the person does not really have empathy for you. This is something we learn. This is something we learn as nurturers, especially as you said, you're a giver. You're you you're a nurturer. Your natural reaction, your natural response is to heal, is to fix, is to help. But again, in some situations where the person is caring and kind and understand that, they will learn how to work and protect that in you. However, in those other situations where the person is as your husband was, they, instead of protecting that, instead of caring and sheltering you, they abuse that. Which is, I think it was you earlier who said that he thought you would. Yeah, you said he thought you would never leave. Exactly, because when the person sees the caring side and they figure, yeah, you'll never leave, but eventually you can. It can get to be so much that, yeah, you decide you have to protect you. Because, yeah, you have to protect you. You have to protect what you have left. We have this one life, and it's too short of a life to to be miserable, and it's too long of a life to be miserable. So yeah. Hi, thanks. How do people learn to communicate effectively in romantic relationship? I'm struggling in mine. This is one of those things that if we did not learn as children, it becomes much more difficult in adult relationships because, we all have, we're all grown and we believe we know certain things. One of the things that I always recommend is the use of I statements. The use of I statements where I do have a video on that. I think if you search for I statements on my channel, you should find it. But I'll try to see if I could link it late. I'll try to see if I could link it later if I don't forget. But one of the easiest things or most effective ways is to use I statements, because I statements allow you to take ownership of your own stuff. It allows you to speak up and be assertive without being aggressive. I statements, I'll just do a quick I statements. Of course, they start with I, being the person involved. And you tell the person you share feelings, and then you address what led to the feeling. I feel sad when, I don't know, when you don't come home. And then the fourth part is, and then you ask what the person, what it is that you would like for them to do. How can they help you? It's a way to, one, express what you're feeling, express where you're coming from, and then ask the person to help. It's not telling them to help, but it's engaging them and asking them how to. And people are so much more helpful when we ask them to help, and more engaging when we ask them for help than when we tell them. The other thing that I think helps with improving communication is learning to listen. Learning to listen. It's a very difficult skill. We talk about it all the time. We talk about how, communication is important, but we don't really tell people, we don't really discuss how to do it. Taking the time to learn to listen will help things tremendously. And another thing I recommend is I think Gary Chapman should give me a commission, really, because I promote this book. I I have clients, I tell other people, Gary Chapman, if you're listening, I'm waiting for my commission. The Five Love Languages. I highly recommend this book because it helps you kind of learn to uh wait, I'm gonna come back to this because this is getting interesting. Um with the five love languages, it helps you learn how to understand and get the other person, get your spouse. With love language, we there, the five, the acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, and there's one I always forget, physical touch. Okay, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation. And the fifth one that I never remember. I don't even know which one it is right now. But yeah, that would be something else I would recommend, just taking the time and read that book. And another thing I would say, talk about it. If you're sensing that you guys have an issue with communication, discuss it and make a plan. What do we want to do? How would we like to address this? What do we want to do about it? And figuring out, hey, what would we like? Having a sit down and having a conversation of, hey, this is what I would like to do. This is what my idea of good communication or effective communication is. What is your idea of effective communication? And just from there, being able to start having that, oh, okay, so this is what I want. This is what he wants. And then you guys could come up with something. I hope that helps, Gianna. Valerie says, I didn't do therapy after the third time. It was just over. Plus, he became more. That is something that does happen. He became more emboldened. He is now polygamous and told me this afterwards. So I told him I didn't sign up for that. Well, he can be a polygon by himself. I actually hated marriage just from what I have seen. Oh, that's sad. Marriage can be cool. Marriage can be amazing. Marriage can be amazing if you're in the right situation. I hope. Okay, so my wish for you is that you find the guy, you find the person that's gonna make you love marriage, because yes, marriage is not for everyone. I will be the first one to say that. Gifts. Thank you, Gianna. Thank you. Gifts. Yes. I always forget one. And I think that's probably the one that I'm the lowest on. I think I'm like I don't remember the scores, but I'm a little bit of each, maybe 10, 10, 4. And then there's like gifts is like a 2. Thank you. You're absolutely right about the learning to communicate as children. I didn't see good communication as a kid. I will look up the I statement video. Yes, please do, because I actually have a couple of them talking about why you should use them and things like that. So yes, definitely. And another reason I think communication is important is that we have to always remember, as you mentioned, you didn't see it growing up. We have to remember that we're teaching children. We're teaching the children growing up in our home, or who are visiting, or who are around us, are learning how they're going to be as communicators in the future. So whatever it is that we are doing or not doing, we are teaching that to our children, to our nieces, to our nephews, to anyone who's around us. Let's see. Women have to learn boundaries. I will never get married again. Easier to remove myself when they go south. I am so sorry that you are there. But um oh, the book is the five love May. Hey. The book is the five love languages. The author is Gary Chapman. Um but yeah, May's here. I didn't even realize you were here. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the book. Oh, what was I saying? I totally just lost my train of. What was I just lost my train of thought. I ain't even gonna lie. I just lost my train of thought. Okay. Any other thoughts, questions? I feel like I've been talking for a minute. Any other thoughts or any questions? I would love to answer more questions. But back to you, Val. I have seen really amazing marriages. I have seen really amazing marriages. I have met some really great men. Yes, we had. And once you've been with someone who was not a great partner, it's normal. It's even expected a little bit that you would be turned off. But the reality of it is, not everyone is your ex. Not every person is going to be, not every person is going to be like that person. Not every person is going to be hurtful. Not every person is going to do those things. There are men out there are women out there who are amazing partners, who are amazing friends, who are amazing men and women in their own rights. So yes, please like the above. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Yay, thanks, Val. You were replying to the person who said they will not get married. Yeah, so yeah, that would be my hope for anyone who's been married and who's been turned off from going back. It can be amazing. I've seen amazing. I've seen it. I've seen people who have that husband that they can't wait to get home to, who have that wife that they can't wait to get home to. And yes, I've seen the one where the person stays out all day and does all sorts of awful things. But at the end of the day, you can't let one, especially if because some people are not the marriage. Like that's not their thing. Marriage and family is not their thing. But some people, marriage and family is their thing. So if that is you, if you're the marriage and family person, don't let someone's thoughtless actions deprive you. You can still love yourself. She says, I'm about loving myself, not that I don't want to be with someone. I just don't trust anymore. And that's, again, your husband stole that from you. That's one thing that happens after infidelity, is that, and not every guy wants to be polygamous. There are many men who are happy. One of my friends, I actually told his wife this. They weren't married yet, and we were talking, and I asked them. I think we were at an event. I ran into him, and I asked him, and I said, "Hey, how is I didn't ask permission to share the story, so I won't say their name. So I said, "Hey, how is her?" And he was saying that she was away at work. She was away for work and this, that, and the other. And I was like, and he says, I just need her to hurry up and get home. And I'm like, okay. And the way he said it sounded like something was wrong. And I'm like, wait, what is going on? What happened? And he's like, I miss her. And that just melted my heart. I thought that was the sweetest thing ever, because she was gone and she'd only been gone a couple days, but he missed her so much that he needed her. He looked like a lost little puppy. And this person had been in previous relationships, and she'd been in previous relationships, but they found that. And when you see them together, you realize, and I don't know why their previous relationships ended, but I know that they had relationships before that did not work. But sometimes when you find the person, when you find the person that's right, when you find the person that's willing to do, that's prepared to do the things you need, and you're prepared to do it for them, it's amazing. So yeah, I wouldn't completely shut it out, but yes, it is very important to be a lot more discerning and a lot more cautious in our choices. And I think people are naturally like that when as we're adults. No, I've been divorced now for 16 months after 15 years with my college sweetheart, and I will not marry again. Focus on myself, kids, and work. She said, nah, let's date forever. Be serious. Be serious. Keep my financial power to myself. Women lose out a lot more because we put energy in helping our spouse build. And again, that comes from not having the right partner. That comes from not having the right partner. Because the right partner will build you. The right partner will support you. The right partner will help you get ahead as much as you're helping them get ahead. A lot of times, traditionally, it's been, yes, the woman stays focuses more on home and family, and the man does what the man does more of the go out. Like, the man is more the hunter. They go out and bring home the bacon. But now it's different. Women have careers, women have passions, women have dreams that, and they are choosing and they are focusing on following them. So yeah, having the right partner will make that happen for you. It's having someone who will, it's not, again, your husband did some damage. Your husband did some damage. I can tell you, I swear, not all men are like that. And yes, people have been in relationships that did not end well and then moved on to find amazing relationships, to find that that goal relationship, the one that people want, the one that makes you realize that, hey, you know what? I could work with this. This makes sense. This is what I've been looking for. There are amazing men and women out there. I wouldn't completely, again, don't deny yourself because someone else was wrong. You can still love yourself. You can still do all that stuff. You just have to be open to the fact that, yeah, there's going to be a great guy, or there's probably a great guy out there somewhere. And yeah, eventually, when you're ready, you'll find him. All right, so we're up at about that hour. I was planning on just hanging out here for an hour, and it looks like I've been hanging out here for an hour. We have a few people here. Let me say hi. I'm going to say hi to the people who've engaged in the conversation. Let's see. Hi PJ. I don't know if you're still with us, but hi PJ. Hi, Valerie. We've been talking. Gianna, thank you for engaging. PJ, thank you for engaging too. Valerie, thank you for engaging. Who else said something? May, thank you for coming. I didn't even know she was here. Thank you for coming and thank you for engaging. So if you're here and I didn't shout you out, it's because I didn't know you're here. I don't know that you're here, or I don't know who you are, but hi, quiet person who hasn't talked. So if you're here, I do appreciate you guys for coming. Before I close out, are there any other questions, any last minute comments, any thoughts, issues, concerns that we want to talk about before? Oh, thank you so much, PJ. Thank you. I hope if you have any other questions, please do leave comments. I like comments. They give me great ideas for more video. PJ's hung out with me. This whole time. Thank you so much. Everyone else who's hung out with me, whether you've been here for 5 minutes or the whole hour, thank you guys so much for coming. And you know what? I want to shout out Val because she's been here not just for this one. She's been to a bunch of them. So thank you, Gianna. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming through. I'm always happy to answer questions. Actually, I have a question for you guys, and that means that even the quiet people who haven't said anything. I thought I wanted to do these live conversations because I was looking at analytics, and it looks like Thursday night a lot of people were watching these videos, and I thought maybe it would be a good opportunity to engage and answer more specific questions. Is this something you guys want or are interested in? Think is a good idea? Want me to do more of? Yay, nay? I think there's a lag, so I think it. Oh, okay. You think it's a good. Okay, yay! Thank you. Okay, so I guess I will do them again then. Yeah, because I want to do more engaging stuff and give people more opportunity to not just hear what I think people want to hear, but actually discuss stuff that people want to discuss. So, all right, perfect. So I guess the next one will be in 2 weeks from today, which is whatever the. Okay, I just had the calendar and lost it. Let's see, 2 weeks from today is the 11th, I think. Yeah, so I guess the next one will be, that's my niece and nephew's birthday. So November 11th, I guess at 7:00. So if you're here today, I hope that you'll be here on the 11th to hang out with us. If you have questions between now and then, thank you so much. I hope that you'll shoot me an email, send me a message, send an owl or something. And as always, thank you guys. Appreciate you. All right. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.